Thank you very much, Senator Baldarchi, Representative Matlack, and the members of the State and Local Government Committee. Good morning, or excuse me, good afternoon now. Been a long morning. My name is David Simmons. I'm a resident of Bangor, and I am here in strong support of HB 467, and I thank you for that opportunity. Why am I so passionate about the Constitution? In February of 1975, as a high school senior, I raised my right hand and enlisted in the United States Army. I swore an oath to my God and before my peers that I would support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I wasn't asked to defend its borders. That was understood. I wasn't asked to defend a particular ethnicity, though all would be shielded. I was asked to defend an idea, a concept. That idea, unlike other nations, is passed down from generation to generation. We teach it to our children. We try to impress upon them the gift that we have. This idea, this gift, this blessing is liberty through self-governance. When I swore that oath, it was a covenant oath, which one gives his entire being into a family bond tighter than any contract. I served in the United States Army for 42 years. Today, 4 years since my retirement, that oath is still in effect, still just as strong, and still in my blood. I take this very seriously. Today, our federal government is out of control. It has become an enormous bureaucracy. It spends way too much and is intent on encroaching into our day-to-day lives through regulation and other controls. Thomas Jefferson once said, as government grows, liberty decreases. There is no indication that Washington wants to or is capable of repairing these problems. But I don't believe that this is a people problem in Washington. I don't agree with the majority of politicians or bureaucrats in Washington, but I want to believe that they are doing their best. I see it as a structural problem within the government. The founders knew man's nature, his and her ambition. They knew the dangers of majority faction. They structured our Constitution to limit the effects of these failings. They gave us the separation of powers, legislative balances and checks, an independent judiciary, and representative legislatures. In recent years, these structures have been ignored, bent, broken, and only observed when they're working when it was to their benefit. The different branches of government are provided various powers through the consent of the governed. A government protects the life and property of its citizens. It must control the passions of its citizens and also must control its own passions. The way this is done is through legislation by reason and deliberation, providing a filter for the passions of our nation. The founders knew that there would be a need to adjust various parts of the Constitution in the future due to the discoveries of inefficiencies in its working. But a Constitution by its very nature is supposed to be solid, concrete, to stand the test of time. So they understood that there would have to be a way of adjustments. So the US Constitution's Article 5 gives we the people the charge to apply through state legislatures for the establishment of a convention of states for the purpose of proposing amendments. The founders, in their joint wisdom, wanted the amendment process to be difficult, but not impossible. Notice also that there's no test given for this. You don't have to come up with specifics why you want to have a Constitution Convention of States. When the Convention of States is convened and the various committees deliver through deliberation, proposed amendments centered on the three areas of our resolution, limiting the federal government, fiscal restraints, Maine has a balanced budget, its power and jurisdiction. I'm sure that some of you must have had some people come up to you from time to time and talk about their problem with regulatory controls, too many regulations. And 3, term limits for officials and members of Congress, and has already been mentioned. We have those term limits. After the proposed amendments are debated, changed if need be, and then voted on and accepted, our representative democracy will not have changed. The Bill of Rights will still be there. The making of legislation and adjudicating laws or execution of them will remain unchanged. All that will have changed is that those that consent to be governed will have strengthened the existing structure of the US Constitution of our government by minimizing individual and group ambition. This will return much needed power to the states, where most of the domestic power should be exercised, and give the states its proper place in our federal form of government, exerting some balance to Washington. We must make the United States of America plural again. Senator Baldarchi, Representative Matlick, and members of the state and local government, I thank you for your time and the opportunity to speak. I ask that you consider the problems in Washington, the necessity of HB 467, and give it your support by voting on it to pass. Thank you.
I'm here live in Philadelphia at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. When you hear the phrase lives, fortunes, and sacred honor, these are the folks we should think of, those who anonymously gave their lives. Well, today you have a chance to volunteer. You need to volunteer for conventionofstates.com, the movement that's going to save the country. These folks are willing to step up and give everything. We need you to give just a little bit. Go to conventionofstates.com and volunteer today.